telling my sister to keep her unsolicited and judgmental opinions to herself and that she's stooping so low it's disgusting. My wife and I welcomed our daughter into the world in November. We named her Kala after my wife's favorite flower and to honor my late grandmother, Lily. We announced the name once we had all the paperwork filled out. For us it was just easier in case anyone decided to comment something negative. As you can likely tell from the title of the post, my sister did have a problem with the name. She asked us why we chose a weird name and then told us a more classic and sophisticated name would have been far better for our little one. I told my sister to knock it off and we did not ask for her opinion. She said she was only trying to help and I said very clearly we did not need or want her help with our daughter's name and it was already finalized and not up for change. 2 days after our daughter was born, my sister sent my wife a list of names for girls. They were all very common names that have been used throughout the generations. Like Emily, Elizabeth, Hannah, Eleanor, etc. My wife replied that Kala's name was already official and not up for change. She told me about it when I got back from the store. The next time we saw my sister, she asked my wife why she wanted such an unusual and out there name that nobody else will have. She told my wife that coming from foster care you would think she would understand the importance of having a name that blends in and is classic and easy to say and spell. I was not in the room when she said this. But she also told her that she was opening our daughter up for a lifetime of being asked about her name. She left behind 2 baby names lists that day. I sent my sister a text that we needed a break from her if that's how she was going to behave. She didn't reply right away, and then over the following couple of weeks she sent many more name suggestions, and when we did not reply she sent a very long, very detailed email telling us that we did not stop to think about the name Kala when we chose it. She said it might sound pretty to us, but when you have a name almost nobody else has, it causes problems. She also said that people want and need names that sound like names and not words or plants that are being used as names now. She said she had no idea we were that try-hard that we would pick a nature name, as if that isn't one of the most idiotic things in the world. Then she mentioned my wife being a foster kid again, and how she should know better of all people. I snapped and called up my sister to read her the riot act over the phone. I told her to keep her unsolicited and judgmental opinions to herself, and if she does not stop sending us baby name suggestions then she will be permanently blocked. I told her I did not like her at all right now, and she is being a major a-hole and stopping so low that it's disgusting. I ended the call without letting her reply and she blew up my phone after saying I had been so disrespectful and crossed more lines than her. Comment 1. NTA. Kala is a beautiful name, but more importantly it's the name you chose. Your sister says she doesn't want your daughter to be saddled with the name of a plant? Has your sister ever heard of Rose, Daisy, Lily? Does she know that some names are shared with stones? Amber, Ruby, Garnet, for a man? I think you were pretty mild on your sister. I'm not one to suggest North Carolina, but sounds absolutely insufferable. Comment 2. NTA, she needs to stay in her lane. It's fine to have this conversation, it can be important especially with the rise of unique names, but it sounds like this was well thought out and beautiful homage to someone important in your lives. She is trying to gaslight you and your partner into choosing a name that has her approval, which is super weird. It's also a poor show of character that she is so insistent on pushing this so hard in such a delicate time. You, your partner and your newborn don't need this kind of negativity whilst trying to navigate this new chapter of your life. And on a more positive note, congratulations. Comment 3. NTA, Kala is a beautiful name. It would be another story if you were naming your daughter methamphetamine or danger or something ridiculous. There are stories where the parents name their kid something that will definitely get them bullied and impact their life negatively. This is not one of those stories. Your sister is out of line and you should go ahead and block her already. She is not going to stop. Focus on your family. Telling my friend that if she couldn't keep up because of her disability, she just shouldn't come. I, 26F, have a pretty close group of friends. We have this one girl in our group, Sadie, 27F. She has a disability that is mostly manageable through medication. Despite this, Sadie has a bad habit of forgetting to take her pills right before we do something she isn't interested in doing. This time, it was on a group trip we've been planning for over a year. Due to how high the cost of the trip was, we each decided to take a day and plan an activity that the whole group would participate in. We also rented a van together to get to our destination, as that was the most ideal situation. The first issue with Sadie came up when getting to our destination. Due to the length of the drive, everyone was going to be driving an hour to get to our destination. Right before it was Sadie's turn, she had a flare-up and could not drive. Our friend took over. The next morning, my friend had planned a tour of the town. We all reminded Sadie several times to take her medication, as this was an expensive tour and we did not want it to be cut short. Well, she had forgotten and the tour had to be cut short. This is when I got genuinely upset, because this was now my money being wasted. Throughout the week, she had flare-ups pretty often. The actual fight that led to this post occurred on my day though. The previous day, Sadie had had no flare-ups. It was also her day to plan. This was because she had set alarms to take her medication regularly so that she would be okay. We all reminded her to please take her pills like that again. I decided to take all my friends on a trail ride on horses, as the trails in this town are known for being absolutely beautiful. We paid extra for a basics lesson prior to the trail. In the basics lesson, we were all paired off based on experience and performance in the small arena that they had. I was paired with Sadie. Well, 1/4 of the way through the trail, she started having a flare-up. I told her that I would not be turning around, as this was expensive and that I was truly looking forward to this. She begged me to turn around. Finally, the ranger told us that I had to turn around with her, as she was my partner. In the car, I told her that she knew how important this was to me and that she just should have taken the pills. She told me that I was being ableist and that I didn't know what the pills did to her. We got into a huge argument in which I said, if your disability can't take being a good friend, then maybe you shouldn't come on these trips anyway. While I agree that it was harsh, I didn't think I was in the wrong, considering that she had cost us so much money over the years for simply not wanting to do something. My other friends agree that Sadie is inconvenient at times, but that I should have been more sensitive to her condition. I'm honestly torn on whether to apologize or not. Comment 1. NTA. I also have a health condition that can flare up, and while I'm not sure what's up with Sadie, if she doesn't want to take her meds, then she knows she needs to stay home. She was able to keep on top them for her day, but no one else is? And just happens to flare up before her turn to drive? Were there any other flares on the drive, or just when it was her turn? Comment 2. NTA. If Sadie had flare-ups that messed up her own day, then the problems on the other days are understandable. The fact that she's problem-free when she's doing something she wants implies you're being manipulated. She's messing up the planned activities and costing you money. You deserve to be able to take a trip without that one person causing most of the problems. Comment 3. NTA. Sadie sabotaged your day by not taking her meds, and she knew it. She could have just stayed back if she didn't want to take them. It was her choice. She chose to not take the meds, knowing full well that she would not be able to make it to the end of the trail. And then accuses you of being ableist as a cover for her poor behavior. Sadie needs to grow up and take responsibility for how her choices impact her friends and herself. Not splitting our estate equally between our daughters. I, 52F, have 2 daughters. My eldest is 31. She was my wild child. Since she started walking, she was climbing trees and terrorizing the wildlife. She would come in completely covered head to toe in dirt and debris every day. As a teenager, she was rebellious. I was constantly worried I'd get a call that she was dead or in jail. She moved out when she was 18 and was determined to never need our help. As an adult, she is mature and responsible. She has a master's degree in business and is over a hospital and a couple of doctor's offices. She met her husband, 33, when she was 21, and those two were perfect for each other. They own a farm and have a set of triplets. They had infertility problems. They have never once asked for money or really needed any help from us at all. Maybe to babysit every now and then, but that's about it. Those two just have it all put together. My youngest, 27, lives in a camper trailer with her husband. They have 5 children and she is pregnant again. They also have several cats and dogs. Both work but both have low-paying jobs. Both refuse to do more. I gave her just as much as her sister to go to college. She chose not to and spent it all. It seems like every week they need money for something. We pay most of their bills: power, water, car insurance, phones, etc. I don't want my grandchildren living in the dark, so I pay. Recently my husband and I did our will and named out eldest executor of estate. We both have some serious health problems, so we figured it was time. Honestly, we should have done it sooner, but better late than never. Our eldest didn't say anything about the money and mostly just asked questions about what we want her to do, how we want funerals, and if we wanted to be buried or cremated, what to do with the estate, etc. The normal end-of-life stuff. We, my husband and I, divided out inheritance and our eldest got most of it. My reasoning is our youngest has used all of her inheritance in the money we are constantly having to give her. I did divide out my jewelry equally and several other items for them, and when we pass they are to sell our home and equally split it. Well, this has caused a huge issue with my youngest, who believes I am favoring her sister. I don't believe so. Her sister has simply not needed any of her inheritance and is the more responsible of my daughters. I know when the time comes she will know what to do and will do what is necessary for everything. My youngest has decided to no longer speak to me, so I am trying to figure out if I am being an a-hole. Comment 1. NTA. You are allowed to divide your estate as you see fit. It is not at all unusual for a person to divide their estate unequally, for many reasons. I guess the youngest figured the gravy train would keep coming, but you are spending her part of the estate now, as you explained. I would reconsider continuing to pay her now though. What if your deaths aren't imminent, as you think? Do you want her to drain your estate? You are wise to let them know this in advance. Double check with a lawyer that the will can't be challenged. Comment 2. I'll bet she starts speaking to you as soon as the next bill she can't pay shows up. It's your choice to divide your estate as you choose. No one is owed anything, and your younger daughter might just be a little too comfortable with getting her inheritance up front. She's chosen her life and it's not up to you to pay for her choices, now or in the future. If you're comfortable with your decision, that's all that matters. NTA. Comment 3. NTA. If you're the one who's been paying your youngest daughter's bills all this time, then yes, that right there is her inheritance. It's not like you're even giving your oldest daughter everything. They'll each get some keepsakes and half the proceeds from your house. Plus it sounds like your oldest is going to be dealing with the afterlife things, so honestly to me it just seems fair. Refusing to return the gift? My brother got divorced 11 years ago when his child was only 4 years old. I was my niece's nanny and I practically raised her. She is like a daughter to me. Recently my niece has been asking us to buy a laptop for her because she needs one for school, so we figured that can be her Christmas gift. With my brother's permission I bought a gaming laptop for her because I know she is a gamer and I figured she will like it. The problem is that niece's mom called a few days ago and informed us that she bought a Chromebook for my niece since she has been asking for a laptop. I informed her that I bought a laptop for my niece. She told me to return the laptop. I told her that this is ridiculous and she should be the one returning the Chromebook. She got mad and said that she is the mom and decides what her daughter should have and asked me to butt out of her parenting and just return the damn laptop. I told her that I'm not returning the laptop, so she has a choice now. She can either return the Chromebook and buy another gift or watch her daughter's disappointment when she opens her gift and realizes how petty and cheap her mom is. Edit. After thinking about your comments I finally decided what I'm going to do. I decided that I don't really care about how my brother's ex feels. How my niece feels is what matters to me, so I won't return the gaming laptop. I will also block my brother's ex so that she can't bother me anymore. My brother also agrees with my decision. Comment 1, Urta. I could see not wanting to return it because maybe you saved up or it's non-returnable or you already hinted to your niece about it. But from your story, it sounds like it's more about the mother than your niece. You want to give your niece the better laptop. Calling the mom cheap and petty shows that you're really the petty one here. If this was actually about your niece, and not about you buying a better present than her mom, why not suggest you all chip in together and get your niece an amazing top-of-the-line laptop? I mean, if it isn't not all about you, and actually about your niece. Comment 2. Urta, seems you are inserting yourself in what could blow up between the actual parents, plus it sounds like you don't like her and just want to make her look bad. I say ask your brother what he wants you to do. Are you causing problems between their co-parenting by not being flexible? What if mom is concerned about how much gaming she is doing and this was her way around that? She's a teen and these are tough years as it is, adding divorced parents and now an aunt causing unnecessary drama at Christmas in a pissing contest isn't best for your niece. Calling my boyfriend me more when I'm white. My boyfriend, 18M, and I, 18F, have been dating for a year and a half, and it's been absolutely wonderful. It's both of our first relationships, so we're extremely lucky to have such a caring first relationship. However, there's been a little thing recently I would love some more insight on. I'm white, ginger, Irish Catholic type of white, and my boyfriend is 1/4 Mexican from his grandpa on his dad's side. A couple months into our relationship, he told me that he always heard his grandpa calling his grandma mi amor por siempre, my lover forever, or simply mi amor, my love. He expressed to me that he always found it very romantic and that he would love to call each other it. I also thought it was very sweet, so it's been a nickname we've been calling each other for the last year or so. A few days ago, I was showing a friend of mine a meme he had texted me, and she saw what I have him saved as in my phone. It's his name, heart-shaped mi amor. She got very upset at me and told me that I was appropriating Mexican culture. She told me that only he has the right to call me that since he's part Mexican, but since I'm white, I should refrain from it. I told her that it was Spanish, not exactly Mexican culture. She said she wouldn't talk to me until I apologized and changed the name in my phone. My boyfriend is very stressed at the moment, and I don't want to burden him with a weird drama like this, so I thought I would come here. Comment 1, NTA, but your friend sure is. First, mi amor is my love in Spanish. Mexican people are not the only people in the world that speak Spanish. So, even if there was some sort, which there is not, of appropriation happening, it wouldn't be Mexican. Your friend is a goof and should mind their own business. Period. Full stop. Comment 2. NTA, well, if speaking another language is cultural appropriation, then we'd better cancel all the foreign language tutors because apparently they're being offensive. The fact that your friend doesn't even know which culture you're apparently appropriating shows how ridiculous she's being. Don't apologize or change the name on your phone and enjoy the silence when she stops talking to you, because it sounds like only nonsense comes out of her mouth anyway.